Awesome. So yeah, so guys, we are going to be talking about the photography Go-See competition. And as a Go-See, like what really that is where you're going and you're seeing agents. So our competition is very similar to that. It's a Go-See. Yeah, I'm clearer when I'm closer to the camera. Is that better? Sorry guys, I feel like I'm having technical problems today. Yeah, so it's definitely a Go-See. So you're going to be going and seeing all the agents. So every agent goes to this competition, whether they are a commercial agent, an international agent, whether they are looking for actors, for models, male, female, anything. Every solitary agent that we bring into CMTC goes to this competition and does this competition. Okay. So I'm just going to go over the rules really quickly first, and then I will kind of continue on. So what the photography Go-See competition is contestants will present their two best prints, okay? And they need to be prints, something that you can hold in your hands, okay? It can't be on your camera or your phone. I know I've had in previous years where parents come up to me and they're like, "Hey, here's my camera," and we're just going to swipe back and forth. That's not what we do. It has to be two photos that you can hold in your hand, one in each hand, okay? So two printed photos. They have to be loose. They can't be in a portfolio or like those clear slips or anything. So they have to be loose that you're just kind of holding on to them. The prints can be in either color or in black and white. Okay, it's up to you. One can be in color, one can be in black and white. Both can be in black and white, or both can be in color. Totally up to you. Prints can be any size. I do recommend that they are in 9x12 size, as 9x12 size is kind of the standard size for a model's portfolio, 9x12. However, if the photo cannot be printed in a 9x12, so for example, it just can't be printed that size, without becoming blurry or pixely, go with the biggest size you can print it in. So if the next biggest size is an 8x10, go with an 8x10. If you're in the talent division and you only have your headshots, those are normally 8x10s. So you can definitely go with an 8x10. Like you don't have to go and get these reprinted in 9x12s. But I do recommend that they are bigger than just the little ones, just so that it's easier for people to see. So if you do have the ability to get those printed off, go with like a 5x7 or an 8x10, but the recommended size is a 9x12, as that is normally what goes into a portfolio, okay? But again, any size does work, as long as you have two, nothing bigger than 9x12, okay? You're not coming in with like a massive poster. Okay, contestants must hold up their prints so that they can be clearly seen by the panel of judges, okay? And then contestants may or may not be asked any questions by the judges, okay? Wardrobe and style is left up to you guys. We will be talking about that later on tonight though. And judging will be based on the photogenic quality and print potential of the contestant. Okay. And then this competition is closed to the audience, so the audience will not be in there. Okay. Did everyone kind of get my MailChimp today or yesterday? And did everyone see my Facebook video that I posted about the photography competition? Okay. No, if they are 4 years old, they actually go in by themselves. So what happens is, I'm going to start with my younger ones. So 4 to 7 and 8 to 11, you will go to your lineup. And during lineup, as a parent, you are allowed to stand with your child. Okay, so you would stand with your child in the lineup. Then, and they would be holding their photos kind of in the lineup. Then when they're actually going into the room, we take them into the room. And they just kind of walk along in front of the agents, holding their photos. Okay? Oh, the mail went out yesterday, guys. So it's whoever registered during ePly. That's who it goes to. So if it's maybe your guardian, they might have it over you yourself. And I did post it on Facebook for everyone to be able to see it. Okay, as well. So yeah, so your little ones, 4 to 7, 8 to 11, they're just going to hold the two photos and they're going to kind of walk along. And the agents are going to help them as well. So if they're going too fast or the agent didn't get a chance to see the photos, the agents are going to just call them back and be like, "Oh, come back this way. Let me see your photos." Oh, and they might ask them a few questions. Our staff is in there as well. So if we're finding that sometimes the little ones maybe do, like our 4-year-olds, sometimes have a problem holding up the photos, our staff will come in and like help and assist with that. But most of the time the agents are pretty great in there, and they definitely make sure that the kids are having fun and that they're they're doing well. So yeah, so it's just the 2 photos and they'll walk along. Some of the questions that might be asked in there from the agents, in general, could be who shot those photos, how old are you, how tall are you, where are you from, like where in Canada are you located, what's your background, and I actually had a kid tell me this once, and I hadn't really prepped them for that question, and then they were in the room, and he was probably, I want to say maybe like 9 or 10, and one of the agents kind of asked him like what his background was, and he had no idea what that meant. So just kind of prep your kids, especially with what they are. Like I'm, well, Canadian and German, so that's what my background is. So they might ask that question to you. For the younger ones, the 4 to 7, 8 to 11s, the questions aren't kind of like who shot those photos and things like that. It might be more like, what's your favorite color, or did you have fun shooting those photos, or just they might be talking about like the outfit that they're wearing. Oh, what a cute dress! Like, where did you pick that out yourself? Things like that. So the questions aren't going to be hard for the younger ones. Again, with a go-see, it is about your personality and really getting able to talk to you, and so that's why the agents will ask questions. It's because they want to get to know you. They also want to be able to look at you and then look at you and be like, how do they photograph? And then you have your 2 photos there to kind of show them like, this is who I am in person, but this is how I photograph. Does that make sense? Everyone feels good so far? So you're going to be walking along with your 2 photos like this in front of all the agents. They may or may not ask you questions. The photos do not need to be professional. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the photos in just a few quick seconds, but the photos do not need to be professional. You can actually take some beautiful photos nowadays on like cell phones, but they do need to be printed. So you do need to actually have physical photos to hold on to. I can't stress this enough. It is there's nowhere at the hotel, and I'm telling you this now because it has happened in the past, where you can print photos. You will have to like drive to Walmart or a Shoppers, and they are like really far away, and then it's a very stressful time. So please come to CMTC with 2 photos for this competition, printed, okay? The photos, they can be any size, not bigger than 9 by 12. 9 by 12 is the standard portfolio size, so that's kind of what I recommend to go with. You don't want one of those 4 by 6 photos. You can if that's what you have, but the 4 by 6 I find is a little small to like show them, right? And so bigger is better, not bigger than 9 by 12, but you also want it sharp. If it's blurry, then it's not going to showcase you well. So if you can only get an 8 by 10 and it's like crystal clear, then go with an 8 by 10, okay? So you have 2 photos, okay? I'm going to talk to you guys what's recommended. So for the photos, because I feel like that's kind of the question that everyone's asking me about right now, you need to really understand what you are trying to get out of CMTC. If you are like a commercial model, then your photos you want to be a little bit more commercially. If you know for a fact that you really want to do that commercial print and things like that, then you're not going to be having these crazy fashiony looking photos, because that's not going to be attracting to the right agent that you're looking for. Okay. So, you really want those beautiful smile photos. So maybe you do have one photo that is really up close and then one that's more further like a full body. Okay. Because you do get to have 2 photos. They're not the same photos. They're different. And then I can't stress enough to have variety in your photos. If you lay down 2 photos in front of you, of yourself, okay, and start from the top, you kind of look at the eyes, you cover up everything else on that photo, and you look at the eyes, and if the eyes look the same in both photos, then those aren't 2 good photos to have. You're going to want to change one of those photos. Same with the mouth, right? They want to see that there is a diversity in you, and that you do know how to move in front of the camera, and that you understand your angles, and that you understand lighting and what looks good and what doesn't look good. Like clearly right now my lighting is not favorable for me, right? So I would not take a selfie like this and then use it, okay? So you definitely really want to look at the eyes, look at the mouth, then overall look at the body. If you want to use 2 photos of your full body photos, like full head to toe, you're in the photos for both of them, then you want to make sure that your body looks different in each of them. So that you're not what I mean by that is that you're not in the same pose, that you're not like, and then the next photo is okay? Because then all you're doing is modeling two different outfits and you're not actually showing them what you can do in front of a camera. Okay, so diversity and like variety in your photos is key. So I saw earlier, would having curly hair one time and straight the other be a good idea? Sure, as long as the rest makes sense. Like as long as your facial expression looks different and your body movement looks different. If the only thing different in your photos is that your hair is straight in one and curly in the other, then that's not beneficial. If you have naturally curly hair, you could go in with naturally curly hair into the photography go-see competition while you're holding onto your photos, right? And then your photos could have straight hair in them, and then they would be like, oh yeah, like we're not silly people, like we're not crazy. We understand that you can take curly hair and straighten it, right? So to us, we're not looking at the photo being like, oh yeah, I'm only gonna take this girl because she has straight hair. Like that's not really how it works. That's just something that's part of you, right? That is easily can be straightened, cannot be. We could make your hair curly if you are straight. So that's not the main focus of those photos. But if they are very different, then yes, like if one is straight hair and one's curly and they look really different to each other, like maybe one's a close-up with a really strong facial expression, then one's a full body and not a strong facial expression, like a strong facial expression but full body and like different, maybe it's really smiley, then yeah, definitely have a variety in your hair for sure. All of these tips also work for kids as well. Kids though are more geared towards the commercial side, so you do want to have them smiling, or at least like looking like they're having a good time, okay? So you don't want them overly stiff. You don't want them looking miserable, things like that. You do want them smiling, looking into the camera. It doesn't have to be that every photo is like straight into the camera like this. Like maybe it's like they're looking away or things like that as well. But the kids, when you do want them a little bit more smiley, sometimes it can be a little bit more of an action shot. Like maybe they have like a skateboard with them or something like this, right? But again, really showcasing them and who they are, things like that. So when it comes to makeup, and this can go for kids, any age, men or women, for the makeup for your photos, you do want to look your best in your photos, right? So I'm not saying for kids to cake on the makeup. That's not at all what I'm saying. But if you are not going to be doing any photoshopping on the photos at all, you also don't want to have like weird light coming down on you, right? So you would want to maybe make makeup to do that. I'm not saying though go crazy with your makeup. If it is a nice natural makeup, sure, go for that. Again, for the kids, I'm not saying put on makeup, but I'm saying maybe if they're looking maybe a little pale because it is wintertime and we don't really have the sunshine anymore, like a little light blush on their cheeks would be fine. Things like that. But again, I'm not saying cake on the makeup. That is not what I'm saying at all. We want you natural. We want you looking fresh. We want you looking like you. When you add in more, and this kind of goes for the backgrounds, when you add in more elements to your photos, more things can go wrong. Okay, so I suggest a natural background, like a white wall or a colored wall or things like that. All the tips kind of guys go across the board. They really are kind of valuable for all ages. So I would recommend a simple background, like a white background or like a background that you might have in your house, like a painted wall or whatever. But when you start to kind of go crazy with your backgrounds, like you're out in the woods, then there's not as much focus, I want to say, on you. Now the focus is on the background. And then like, oh, what a weird tree branch there. Or like, why is that leaf looking like that? There's more elements now that I'm looking at as an agent and less looking at you, right? Where if you are on a plain backdrop, the only thing I have to look at is you. So this also goes for your outfits, for your makeup, for your accessories. You want simple, okay? Nothing extreme. You don't have to have all these crazy accessories. I also find always accessories kind of age the photos. So if you do want to use these photos later on in your life for other things, that an accessory will definitely age that photo, like give it a date, like you'll know the year of it. You definitely try to limit the accessories, keep it simple, things like that. Again, every time that you add something new to your photo, whether it be trying to do crazy makeup or trying to wear something really extreme that is really out of your comfort zone, it's going to show in the photo. So if you are not comfortable being like a crazy fashionista type of person, and that's the way that you want to go for your photos, you're going to see that in the photos. That's not really you. What you want to do is, if you are the jeans and t-shirt type of girl or guy or kid, then that's kind of the photo that you want to do, because you're going to move better in front of the camera and you're going to really show what you can do, and you're going to have fun, and it's going to be a more natural smile, and you're going to have a twinkle to your eyes and things like that. Where when you're trying to do something that you don't really feel comfortable with for one of your first photos, it's definitely going to show in the photos as well. Okay, so simple, I always say, is better. Also keep it with like within your age range. Don't like do things that don't make sense for your age. Okay, so for like my 12 to 15-year-olds, stick within being 12 to 15. That, I guess, is one of my biggest advice. Like, stick within being 12 to 15 years old. Don't try to age yourself, which I often sometimes see in the photos, is that, you know, they've caked on the makeup, or it's an outfit that's a little inappropriate, and that's what they're wearing. And so, so it definitely is one of those things that you want to also stick to your age, and that's kind of one of another ones. Do you need a portfolio? You don't need a portfolio, but if you are in this competition anyways, I might as well like have like a portfolio that you've maybe put together yourself to go to CMTC with. It doesn't hurt, because, you know, then agents might be like, oh, like you might be walking by and be like, oh, do you have a portfolio? Can we see some of your photos that you've done? And then you have like a binder or whatever of your photos of some of your work that you've done. So portfolios like are, yes, beneficial, not necessarily needed. Is it okay to have bare shoulders in your photos? Yep. In the Facebook photos the video I posted, you do see some photos of different ones, like of, you know, a little off the shoulder and things like that. Yeah, they don't need to be professional. So yeah, as long as it's tastefully off the shoulder and things like that, then yeah, that would be fine too. Some suggestions for, yes, definitely you can have one commercial and one more fashion. Again though, when you are doing fashion, don't think to yourself like, oh, I'm going to take Fashion Magazine and try to recreate their editorial, okay? Because it's just not going to turn out. And again, you're adding a lot of elements to, you know, maybe having errors happen in your photos. And same with the kids, you want them to looking like kids. Don't overdress them. I suggest like don't do big crazy dresses on the girls, like prom dresses and stuff. Like, stick to what they wear normally, as the agents get to see them too, right? And they get to they're gonna ask them the question like, did you have fun at that doing those photos? And like, if they were really uncomfortable in that outfit or dress, they're gonna be like, no, I didn't. And then the agents are gonna be like, oh, well, like, are you really even interested in doing this? Like, things like that. And you don't want that, right? You want them to be, yeah, I love this. It was so much fun. I love doing this, or dressing up or smiling and things like that. Okay? Because you are in front of the agents during this competition, wardrobe really does matter. Because this is your go-see. This is your time to get in front of the agents and be like, this is who I am, and here's what I can do in front of a camera. So you really want to be put together during it. And so what I mean is looking your best that you can possibly kind of be. For 12 and up, especially if you're going for more the modeling side of it, I do suggest that you wear like a casting-based outfit. And this can be like a white or black shirt and nice fitting jeans and like a cute pair of heels for the girls. You know, something that kind of showcases you and your body, like your shape, but nothing that is going to be too short or too revealing. Okay, we don't want that either. A nice black dress is always beneficial. You can do different colors too. Like, it's not runway competition, so you could have color in this one. Something that complements your skin tone, or maybe your eyes, something that really showcases you and your and who you are, and really enhances that for the agents and judges. Okay. So that's kind of your wardrobe. For the kids, again, you want them to be comfortable, and for my 4 to 7 and 8 to 11-year-olds, you want them to be comfortable. So my biggest tip to parents is for my 4 to 7, 8 to 11-year-olds, if you pick out an outfit well in advance for Photography Go See, or this goes for any competition, and then the child decides that that is not the outfit they want to wear that day, do not fight with them. Just let them wear whatever outfit they want to, because they're going to feel comfortable in that outfit and they're going to have fun. And this is supposed to be a fun time for them, right? So it's not supposed to be stressful. It's really not about their outfits. It's more about them and their personality, right? Because again, as an agent, you're going to look at someone and be like, oh my goodness, I can see them working for Joe Fresh, right? And wearing this outfit. So you're not really going to be going to set with your clothes, right? Like especially if you're working for a brand. So it's not really about your outfits, but you do want to look put together, okay? For when you go into this competition, okay? Because it is a go see, so it is still that ability to talk to everybody. My tips for the questions, when they ask you the questions, always try to answer in a full sentence, okay? So if they ask you, how old are you? You're not going to be like 29. No, you're going to be like, my age is 29 years old. Or I am 29 years old. If they ask you how tall you are, you're going to say my height is 5'9", or my height is 5'6", or whatever you are, okay? Those questions, okay? Try, again, like I said, to always answer in a full sentence. It just shows that you can make a sentence, unlike I can currently. Sorry, it just lets the agents know that you can speak, I'm not gonna lie, English really well most of the time. Like that's part of it. For some of the international agents, they might be wanting to bring you over there to do TV commercials that are going to be shot in English. So they want to know that you can actually like speak well in English. Or they also just might want to see that, you can talk to people. So if they do fly you over to their agency overseas, that you're going to be able to get in front of their clients and know what to say and how to speak. So they do want you to really work on those full sentences. Again, for the kids, they're kids, we get it. It's whatever the answer is kind of is we're happy with. I'm not saying I'm going to say converse with them, but what you could say is just like, you really want to be smiling when you're doing it. You want to be confident too, right? So when you're holding your photos, you're not going to be like, moving around, right? No, you're going to be like looking up, having your photos there, holding on to them. Don't cover your head. That's a big one when you're holding on to them at the top. So parents of the younger kids especially, practice holding your photos at home. I'm not going to lie, like really practice, like, and have them holding it like this, and that your badge is going to be up here, your contestant number, so that they can see you, and practice this movement at home. Okay? It definitely does help for all ages, okay, is moving at this speed. Okay? Holding your photos, making sure that your photos don't cross. Hold on, I'm going to try and get 2 pieces of paper here. Making sure that your photos don't cross and that they can be seen by everyone, and that you're not covering up your head either. So what I mean is you're going to have your 2 photos and you're going to hold them like this, up like here, and your badge is going to be here. Okay, but sometimes what happens is the photos will go like this with the little kids. So you really want to practice at home holding it like this, not like this where you could be covering up potentially your face. Okay. So you're going to want to be smiling. You can say things like, hi, like, how are you? Things like that. But most of the time they'll kind of control the conversation. You have scars on your knees. Really, they're not going to be looking at your knees, I want to say. So it would probably be fine. But if you feel more confident and comfortable covering them, then by all means, go for it. But you don't necessarily need to. So I think that's kind of it. I talked about how to take a good photo, keep it simple, have a plain background, simple makeup, hair, and wardrobe. You want to look and feel your best when you're doing it. More things can go wrong the more elements you add to your photos. Try not to be wearing like sunglasses in any of your photos that you want to use for this, or hats. Hats are sometimes fine, but Don't have both your photos that you're going to use for this competition with hats on. And sunglasses, don't have photos of sunglasses actually on your face. Like if they're on the top of your head, different story. The reason I suggest not sunglasses is because a big thing that sells pictures a lot is your eyes. And a lot of agents will take a photo and literally uncover just your eyes, like cover everything else and just keep your eyes open there and just to see. Okay, so it's really important for that. Do I want the hair off your face? Again, it really is, I don't want to say it's all about your face, but it really is about your face and your facial expression. So if your hair is like one of these ones that's kind of like this, and like it's like if this part of your face, like angled like this, is really strong, like your eye and your mouth are really strong in it, then sure, go with it. If your hair isn't covered entire face, like you can't see your face at all, don't go with that photo. Okay. Another thing is, this is for photography go-see competition. Another thing is you need 2 photos. But another thing is CMTC staff can't pick out your photos at convention for you. Okay, we can just kind of, again, give you the same advice that we're giving right now, but we can't actually select your photos at convention. Okay. So you're definitely, though, going to want to come with your photos. Remember, they need to be printed, okay? And that there's nowhere at the hotel to print your photos. So you need to make sure that your photos are printed prior to coming for that competition, okay? It's also not too late to enter this competition. If you're like, oh, this competition seems like really fun and like a good time and all I need is 2 photos and be able to have a conversation with people, awesome, I want to join it. Not too late at all. For the walkthrough, should hair be up? I'm hit or miss on having your hair up for when you're actually walking through it. If your hair, again, is down and it's constantly in your face, it's really hard, like when you're holding 2 photos, to like get your hair out of your face, right? But I've seen people do it with their hair down, nice and natural. It can even maybe be part up or something like that. Do you have to have copies of photos to distribute to the agents? You don't have to. It is always like, if in case they want to take a photo home with them, if you have extras, like that's always a smart idea too. Even like a little comp card or a business card or something might be good. Photos don't have to be full body. They can be of just your face or full body, or one full body, one face, or 2 face ones, or things like that. If you are an actor and you do have talent headshots, you can definitely just use your talent headshots for this competition. Okay, and it's okay if your name's on them. Suggestions to you: practice at home, holding 2 photos, and walking sideways, and answering questions. I would just have maybe like a friend or parents or guardians or whatever just kind of ask you questions every once in a while and see how you answer them. You know that you're always smiling, things like this. Practice your smile. Practice like holding your smile and not looking creepy when you're smiling. Like some people are like, creepy smile, that's not good. You want to have a nice smile when you're looking to the agents. Okay. The photos, like I was saying, you want to show variety in your ability in front of a camera. So you do want them to be different, but like different can be just different, very different facial expression, very different photo movement, like posing in your whole body. Okay. And they don't have to be these big crazy poses. Like, they don't have to be like, wow. Okay. Like, it can just be like really nice, simple, natural posing. Okay. Any other questions, guys?